Hey everybody, this is Leah Butler from the Yoga House in Kingston, New York. So I get the question all the time, what is a vinyasa? And we don't always have time in our open level classes to break down the vinyasa for everybody. So let me show you what a vinyasa is, and then I'll show you the variation if you're still building strength in your upper back, your shoulders, and your biceps. All right? So if your teacher says, all right, take a vinyasa or take an optional vinyasa, it might be anywhere. Just for example, you might be in Warrior 2. So from here, I'll swing arms to the mat. And the vinyasa really begins in plank position. So here we are, plank position. Arms are straight, hands are directly underneath the shoulders. My heels are energized, my legs are straight, and my back is totally straight. My butt isn't up like this, it's not sagging like this. No, it's pretty straight. So, and we'll lower to chaturanga. In chaturanga, you're hovering like 10, 12 inches above the ground. I like it that high for safety. So my biceps, my upper arms are about parallel with the floor. Then I roll into upward facing dog. In upward facing dog, I'm rolling my shoulders back, lifting my gaze, so it's an arch. I'm tightening my buttocks. My whole leg and hips, my hips are lifted up off the ground. So all the weight is being supported by my palms and the tops of my feet. And then I roll into downward facing dog, using my core to get up there, sending sitting bones high, eventually rolling over the toes or stepping one foot out at a time, and finding downward facing dog. That is the whole movement. So let's come through again. And in true vinyasa, you are really taking one breath per posture. So it looks something like this. Shift to the plank position. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, untuck toes, roll shoulders back. And exhale, downward facing dog. That's it. So I'll do it one more time. Come into plank position, nice flat back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, get all the way in. And exhale, downward facing dog. That is vinyasa. So now let's suppose you're building strength in your shoulders, and your upper arms, and your upper back still, or your core. You might be able to lower to chaturanga, but not quite push up into upward facing dog in a way that's safe. So let's talk about the variation, or let me demo the variation where you come to chaturanga, you lower all the way to your belly, and then you take Cobra instead of upward facing dog. So we could be anywhere. Let's just say we're in lifted lunge. Here we are. Okay, everybody, take optional vinyasa. Hands to the mat. Step in a plank position. Inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Keep going. Lower all the way to the belly. And then my hands come underneath my shoulders. I peel my chest up, tighten buttocks, legs, hips, feet are firmly into the ground. I have my elbows scraping inside, really squeezing into the rib cage, rolling my shoulders away from my ears, and lifting the gaze. So it's a gentler back bend than upward facing dog. All right, I can take a low baby cobra, could look like this, pretty high cobra, but I always want to maintain a bend in my elbows. So we'll do that one again. Actually, let's tuck toes, come to knees, and find downward facing dog. So here it is again. Exhale, plank position. Let's take an inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga, keep going to the belly, into cobra, coming back onto knees, and finding downward facing dog. One more time, plank position. Lower chaturanga, keep going, take it all the way to the belly, untuck toes, scoop hard up, elbows tucked tightly at sides, cobra, come back onto knees, and find your downward facing dog. So that is kind of like an intermediate variation if the first one were fairly advanced. And it does take some strength. You might build up toward it over time. Let me give you a third variation. This is if you're really still building strength in your shoulders, upper back, and core region. Don't be afraid to do the variation that is a little bit easier, because you don't want to injure yourself. It's possible to injure your low back. It's possible to injure your anterior shoulder. It's incredibly easy and common, as a matter of fact. So let's protect ourselves. Let's just say we're here in mountain pose. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, we'll step all the way back to plank position. Okay, here I am. I'm going to drop my knees, keep my hips high, scrape my elbows along the rib cage, send the chest down, and snake into a cobra position. Right here, back onto knees, and downward facing dog. 2 more times. Plank, drop knees, lower knees, chin, chest, heart up, back to downward facing. And once again, plank, lower knees, chin, chest, scoop out, cobra, and downward facing dog. Okie dokie. Let me show you 2 ways that I see chaturanga or the vinyasa going wrong. So commonly, I see someone who's still building strength, but their mind, their ego really wants to do the full chaturanga, full upward facing dog. So they get something like this. They're in plank, and they go upward facing. What happened to the chaturanga? It was missing. And what happens is you're putting undue pressure on your low back. No good. So for that person, I would recommend taking knees, chin, chest down, or trying to practice that chaturanga and just take it all the way to the ground, just like the last 2 we did. Something else I see going wrong is a lot of teachers, this may just be a stylistic thing, but a lot of teachers will say chaturanga hovering just above the floor. Well, if you're hovering only an inch or 2 above the floor, what happens is your shoulder level dips below your elbow level. You see that line in my bicep. And that puts undue pressure, unduly stresses the tendons in and around your anterior shoulder. And it is the cause of many an injury in Vinyasa yoga. So let's lift it up. Let's not let the shoulder dip anywhere below the elbow, and we'll keep the bicep about parallel to the mat. Right? So it would look like, yes, in practice, this is doing it wrong. I come all the way down, and then upward facing. So let's do it correctly one more time. Downward facing, shift in, plank position. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. And there we have it. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments. Otherwise, please like, share, favorite, or whatever. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.